Once upon a time, there were 3 little girls who went to the police academy.
And one of those little girls was Cheryl Ladd.
So your name is Chris Monroe, and you want a job too, huh?
You got it.
What do you do?
I'm doing it.
Doing what?
Posing.
They may have been striking a glamorous pose on TV, but behind the scenes, Cheryl Ladd and fellow angel Jacqueline Smith were much more focused on motherhood and Cheryl's daughter, Jordan.
She was 2 years old when I started the show, and Jacqueline so wanted to be a mother, so whenever Jordan came to the set, which she did often, to visit me and play and hang out with me, Jacqueline just loved it, and you know, we'd all go in the makeup room together.
But Cheryl's life became increasingly complicated by sudden fame and a faltering marriage.
I kept praying and kept trying to get a hold of Cheryl Jean Stoppelmore from here on South Dakota. I kept trying to hold on to that little girl.
As everything else in her world began to crumble, Cheryl clung to her childhood foundation of faith.
Was there a crisis point where you began to press into God in a deeper way?
Yes. Several. Certainly when I got divorced and had this child. That was just such a difficult thing to go through, and I was really frozen in a really kind of whirlwind of self-doubt and fear and pain and stuff that I really couldn't talk to anybody about. I mean, I couldn't find any peace, and I just kept praying and praying. And then one day I just found this peaceful place. And I knew that I would get through it. I knew that Jordan would be okay, and I knew that that I wasn't alone, and that God was with me, and I was going to make it.
Cheryl reached out to God in the midst of her divorce.
And I was really spoken to in a powerful way. Really? A real welcome home, kind of, because I had been, I think, with everything that was going on, and in a relationship with someone where, you know, that was never sort of a settled issue with us, and
The issue of faith.
Yes, and I knew I had to have it. I knew I couldn't live or breathe another day without God in my life in a powerful way.
The year Charlie's Angels ended, Cheryl married Brian Russell, who shared her desire for faith.
A 25-year marriage in Hollywood is a rare thing.
Yes, it is.
Has your faith had something to do with that?
Everything, I think, to do with it. I think it has everything to do with it. The fact that we started to really go back to church together, that we pray together, that we really are on journeys, both of us individually and as a couple, in our life that are closer to the Lord and guided by all of that. I think it is why we're together 25 years.
With a happy marriage, a grown daughter, and a beautiful home overlooking the California countryside, Cheryl Ladd seemed to live the ideal life. Then she faced the very real possibility of losing her oldest friend.
My mother went through just a horrendous illness and medical problem. She broke her back, and she got a staph infection, and she was 3.5 months flat on her back, and we nearly lost her a couple of times. And I remember going back to the hotel and dropping to my knees and crying and praying and asking for my mother, and praying for her and saying, God, I just know that if you take her, if you want her, that is your will. And thank you for all the wonderful life I've had with her, and what a blessing she's been to me. I said, but then again, if you're not ready for her yet, give me the opportunity, please, to love her and care for her the way she's cared for me all my life.
Cheryl's prayer was answered, and it wasn't long before her mother's condition started to change.
Truly, within days, she started to get better and better. And this poor woman had to learn how to walk all over again. It's been a year now, a slow process, but she's okay. She's back living in her condo, taking care of herself, so.
Do you feel like the Lord came
Yes.
and touched her and healed her?
Yes, I do. I do.
These days, Cheryl finds God in what might seem like an unlikely place, the golf course.
Here we are. Yay! Let's hit a few.
Even as she started learning the game, Cheryl realized God was speaking to her about life.
I would lose my temper. I would just get so frustrated because I couldn't make myself hit the ball the way I knew and understood how to hit the ball, and in a really strange way. It's a little like life. You think you're in control and you're trying to get that square peg in that round hole, and you get frustrated and you realize that you're not in control of everything, that you need to just step back and let God and open up and move through things, and that's kind of how you have to swing the golf club too.
Now an accomplished golfer, Cheryl is setting out to help other women improve their game, including yours truly.
Look at that. Hey, brilliant.
You are such a good teacher.
Brilliant. That was gorgeous.
Thank you.
Cheryl confesses that for her, golf mirrors her spiritual life.
Truly, it's kind of like my relationship with God. Every time I start chasing my tail and I'm trying to control all these elements of my universe and it's not going right and it becomes really frustrating, I sit down and I pray and I go, okay, I'm not in control of any of this. I can just do the best I can. Please guide me. Please help me figure out how I can, move through this in the way you would have me, in the way you would have me.